Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in podcast. I'm Brendan Cunningham here, the real estate doctor. Right now with Matt Paul, we're going to talk about all the things that you were afraid to ask in real estate. Two guys telling the real story. We've had guests all over the place. We had an estate sale guy last year because people don't realize, running an estate sale is not quite as easy as you think. And you got to really time those things correctly.
That's what we found out.
It was a big inspiration because you don't just call a guy up the day before and say, come over. They're booking way out. Months. In Western New York specifically. But it's probably true in most places. This is
But there's a following I had no idea about. I mean, he said it.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. There's groupies. There's estate sale groupies.
Yep. That will go and just go because it's happening.
Because they do a good job. Yeah. And so we want to make sure we get the goods. We've had appraisals. We've had these guys. And you know what? We were in all kinds of things in the real estate. You read an article the other day. What were you saying?
Yeah, what we were talking about, it was published in Realtor.com, and it was just a
national magazine.
Yep.
Key point.
And that also, the basis of it was talking nationally and just how much, the sales have been drastically down even over last year, where last year was one of the worst years in the last 30. So we're continuing to trend down. They said that average home median value was $449.
Not
here at all. So, I think that it was a good general article nationally, but does not speak to our local.
Yeah. So when you're reading articles and you're scrolling, you're going to see all kinds of stuff out there. You always have to A, consider the source.
Yes.
Yeah. And B, know what they're talking about much more specifically. We talked about ad nauseum about microclimates. Real estate is really all about microclimates because even in Buffalo, North Town's different from South Towns. Then you get to the North Towns. North Buffalo is different than Amherst.
And even within Amherst, the village of Williamsville is totally different than the town.
They're all microclimates, and you got to deal with your specialists to make sure that you're getting the right information. It used to bother me a lot when I first moved to Western New York. One of the things I said, this is a great place to live. But even at the time, I said, the problem, it was in 1985. You weren't even around yet, I don't think.
No, I was born.
Okay.
I was a couple years old.
But you weren't reading yet.
No, it was barely walking.
The problem is it's a one newspaper town because the Courier Express had left already by that, and they only had the Buffalo News. It was a printed paper. But even in 85, as a one newspaper town, now we have no newspaper at all. Now it's online, and they publish it.
The Buffalo News is still around. I mean, I still see it.
Yeah, but it's like two pieces of paper. It's like $20.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it, literally.
No more job for Paperboy anymore.
No, what a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame. But even 40 years ago, when people would come into my office and they'd tell me about, what they had heard, and they'd show me articles. And they'd say, okay, I want to point something out to you. You see this? This is a syndicated article that's been picked up from the Los Angeles Times. They're talking about real estate in Los Angeles. Yeah. And if you looked at the Buffalo News even then, with very rare exception, most of the news articles were getting picked up from Reuters, UP, United Press International, and all these people. And it's like, it wasn't really even a local paper anymore. Now we don't even have it, so that's a whole other issue. But just be careful. Always know what they're talking about specifically when it comes to the market, in microclimates, and it's different. Yeah. And we have to
navigate through all that info.
We get headaches just trying to follow this stuff ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
But we have to, because that's as the man said in The Godfather 2, because this is the business we've chosen. Yeah. We didn't ask how we have to do this. But,
so it's always good to stay ahead of all the current,
Well, you have to, and we had a general question the other day, like, why would I even need a real estate agent? Well, that's a fair question.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a fair question.
Easy, response to that is to navigate through this complex market.
It's complex for us, okay? And if you're a civilian, as I like to call them, man, are you looking for trouble? I used to tell people, you know what? Here's the deal. If you don't need an agent, don't use an agent. Yep. You don't need a plumber? Don't call a plumber. But if you don't call the plumber and you try to put that toilet in by yourself and you don't get that friggin' wax ring right, you're going to pay that plumber 10 times more to come in and fix your work.
Yeah. And then a GC to get all the water damage.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, because it's never just one guy.
No.
And one of the things that we know in Buffalo for sure is we have a lot of historical houses. My house is 100 5 years old.
Yeah, mine was 1920. It was built.
1920. A lot of houses were built in 1920.
Yep.
I met somebody the other day who lived in a condo in on Potomac in the city.
Yep. Okay.
And they said, "Oh, was that one of the ones that was built for the Pan American expedition?"
Mm-hmm.
I says, "Oh, yes." I said, "I love this. They're wonderful."
Yep.
And I said, and I read a really interesting article about that. They said that when they built those, they built them kind of in a hurry, as governments would do, because they're building it for the Pan American expedition back in 1900. And they said they really weren't built very well. Let me tell you something. This place had hot and cold running marble. It had
Big trim,
moldings. It was
Yep.
built like nothing imaginable today. You couldn't replace it, and the standards weren't that good on that.
Yeah.
Please,
I know, right?
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's still standing.
It's still standing. It looks wonderful.
Yeah.
It looks like Abraham Lincoln could be walking down the hallway any second. So,
Yep.
but yeah, so we have these historical houses, and a lot of times what happens is if you get a plumbing leak, well, you're not just going to fix the leak.
No, you got to tear the wall.
Oh, you're tearing walls up.
Plaster and lath.
Plaster and lath. Oh,
Yep.
And the best, it's on the third floor.
Oh.
I got to go through 3 floors now,
Yeah.
busting up walls and all this kind of stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you could do that, or you could just hire the plumber like you should have in the first place.
Yep.
It's pretty simple. I never understood. I understand why sometimes sellers balk at using a real estate agent. It comes down to 1 of 3 reasons. You tell me if there's a 4th, but I think there's only 1 of 3. Could be all 3. They want to save money.
Mm-hmm. That was number 1.
Number 1, probably, but maybe not always. Number 2, they've had a bad experience with a real estate agent.
Yep.
Number 3, they just don't like real estate agents.
Yep.
Well, when I hear that, I said, okay. If they tell me they don't like real estate agents, I said, I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
Most of the real estate agents I don't like.
Yeah.
Because most real estate agents don't do what they're supposed to do. They're not exceptional. And you have to be exceptional. It's just more fun to watch the Bills when they're winning.
Oh, yeah.
It's like everyone gets behind them, but they're winning. Why? Because they're good. They're good at what they do. And they get paid more because they're good at what they do.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean,
I would think a 4th also would be, because I've heard several, and it's usually a certain type of a client that would say, I can do it. I don't need
then
you.
knock yourself out. Do it. That's it. Then
Exactly.
you're fine.
Yep.
Then you're fine.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But I have received calls from those people a week or 2 later.
One of my favorite strategies was a fellow up in Maine. He was the king of for sale by owners. King. And his secret weapon, it was really a secret weapon, is he'd always stop by and say hello, and he'd say, hey, how's it going? I see you trying to sell your house. And the seller, in some cases, would think that he was really going to get smarmy with the guy. Say, well, you're a little late because I've already sold it. And he'd say, that's great. He says, I'm so happy for you. Did you get the price? He says, oh, yeah, great. Good. He says, when are you closing? They tell him, he says, awesome. He says, thanks a lot. It was really a pleasure talking to you. I'm so happy for you. And he'd start walking, and then he'd pivot. And he'd say, listen, do you mind if I just check back with you in a couple weeks, just make sure your deal's okay? He got more calls from frantic sellers like 3 or 4 weeks down the road because the deal blew up. Oh, what am I going to do? I've already bought another house. You got to help me out here. I got it. My wife found your card. I threw it out. It was in the bottom of it. And then you say, oh, so you're a high talker. Why do you talk?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so these things, they blow up.
Yeah, and especially when you're not, like we talked about the last few weeks, when you can kind of foresee a potential issue. You're already coming up with solutions. You're already tackling that so it doesn't potentially fold the deal. Right. So I think, especially in our situation with just constantly objective handling and everything else, we're ready to go. And I haven't had a deal not close. So, with the handful.
If you do everything right, that's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. It's like if you fix the toilet right, it flushes.
Yep.
It's not like, oh, let's see if it flushes.
Yep. But conversely too, I've had a lot of clients that did a for sale by owner the first time and said they would never do it again.
Most people say they would never do it again. And I loved my favorite story. I was telling people about the toilet, and I was at an office, and one of the women in my office, I started, has anyone ever installed their own toilet? And I did it because this is not sexist, this is observation. I had women very well dressed. They had the long nails and the stiletto heels. And one woman raised her long fingernail out. She says, I've done it. And I said, really? And she says, yes. I said, how did it go? She says, it was awful. I would never do it
again. There you go. Hey, hats off for trying.
All right, it's okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, it's what it is. And the other thing that it never made any sense to me at all, and even before I was in the business, just from sort of what I would consider to be a common sense thing, people might argue, if I was a buyer, I would never even consider not using an agent.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It just makes no sense. I mean, first of all, they know the market better than even if when I buy a place in Florida, if that's what happens to me,
Yeah.
I'm using an agent.
Yes.
I am using an agent. There's no question that I'm not.
You're not in that market.
It's not my market. They know more than I do.
Yep.
And I'm going to get a better deal with an agent.
Yeah.
See, people don't realize that. You get a better deal with an agent. Why? Because you get the deal you're supposed to get.
Yes. And they're negotiating on your behalf.
Yeah.
You're running the ship. You're telling them which way to go. Yeah.
The deal that you're supposed to get may not mean that you're paying less, but you're getting the deal you're supposed to without paying more.
Yep.
More than even you elected to do. Because houses are going 10, 15%.
And you're getting it to close.
Well, yeah, that's only a small, I'm getting the clothes to actually flush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to flush, or it's like, what are you doing?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, there's all kinds of strange things you hear out there. But one of the things I thought was worthy of discussion is these articles that are out there. You got, and they're good articles.
They're good articles.
But
Great read.
just consider the source and the location.
Yes.
Okay.
Because every market is different.
Different.
Yep.
It's so different. I mean, and it's like,
and that's you being real right now, just saying, you're not going to go into Florida and act like you know the market. And I've had multiple conversations with people at conventions.
Been to Florida a million times. I don't know the market.
Yeah, but have you had an agent from another market try to tell you what's going on in your market?
Yeah,
it doesn't go well.
No,
it never goes well. And it's
Yeah.
like, really, come on now. It's impossible to know all the markets, and the one that you're working in is what you should be a specialist in.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I can remember when we went to our first EXP convention. It was in Canada. Canada is very different from here, and in some respects, they're doing things better than we are. And in some respects, we're doing it better. But at the convention, I think Canada has 12 provinces. If
something like that.
Forgive me for my error on geography, but all the provinces were represented, and you expect the big markets: Toronto, Vancouver, maybe Quebec. Those are the big markets there. But they had people from Manitoba.
Wow.
And Manitoba, I mean, talk about different.
Yeah.
I mean, you go 200 miles north of the American border, there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. You go 300 miles, there's Eskimos.
Yeah.
And we had the agent up there, and she was talking about her market and how it was different from the other. And all the Canadians said, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes no sense for us. It makes sense for you."
Yeah, totally.
Our average sale price was like $230 or something like that. Where the other guys, Canadian real estate is expensive.
Yes.
Especially in Vancouver where we were.
Yeah, you were in Vancouver Island, right? Or right off of Vancouver Island, that was?
There's a bunch of islands. I was on something.
Okay.
Wherever the convention center is, whatever island that is. Wow. It's where the Olympics were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because they showed us the Olympic Village.
Oh, yeah, I remember you and Joel came back and said that, what was the average home was like $1 million?
Stupid expensive. Everything was stupid expensive. Yeah. And I don't mean to say that in a negative way, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's shocking to us.
Everyone's driving Maseratis and Tesla. If you were a bum, you would drive a Tesla, right? Because that was the cheap car.
Wow.
Maseratis. What's the other one?
There's Alfa Romeo, Lamborghinis.
Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of those running around.
Yep.
Except the guys that are coming to work in a seaplane, like the guy that we know. Justin's coming in a seaplane now, and the guy that runs EXP himself, he goes around in a seaplane.
Wow.
But so just be careful about the things about when you're looking at articles, and it's good to be informed. And you know what? If you ever read an article and you just want to get maybe a slant on it, talk to your real estate agent. Say, what do you think about this?
Yeah. And
you may have a totally different opinion. Maybe your opinion's right, his opinion is wrong, but those are discussion points.
Yep.
And the key point is check the source, check the location.
Yes. And always reach out to us if you want us to talk about it too.
Because we might know something. Yeah. This guy knows more than I do. But
between the two of us.
Figure
it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you never know when an opportunity is going to come along, but you know what? You got to plan ahead. So if you're looking to buy a house and close this year by December 31st, you got to be calling us now.
Yeah.
And we may not be able to make that tight deadline because you may not find a house immediately.
Yep.
Yep. So. And hopefully you don't have to go 18 houses before you get them. Probably one or two. But
It's still possible right now.
Still possible, yeah.
Yep.
Our market's good. Our market's strong.
Yep.
Um, you know, prices are still holding. Multiple offers are still the norm.
There. Yep.
I
Yep.
would say, and 15% over.
Yeah, right around
Yeah,
15% on average. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. And then it's still seeing 10 plus offers too on a lot of the
yeah,
houses that are
yeah,
in, move-in ready shape in the nice areas.
yeah. And that's if you're on the selling side.
Yep.
A great agent is crucial in those multiple offer scenarios.
Yeah.
All kinds of things are happening. It's just like, it's like crunch time. You're in overtime.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's 2 minutes
1 second
on the
left.
clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
gotta go. Yep. Yeah. No, it's intense, but it's also, it's fun.
well,
I enjoy it.
we enjoy it. I don't know that
Yeah, clients do
the
all the time.
clients do,
Yep.
but
Well, they like when they win.
they only like it when they win. We like it when we win too.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
so if you're looking to win
Yep.
and you're looking to take advantage of the hottest market in America for the last 2 years, and likely to remain so for a while. We're not seeing prices coming down. That's for damn sure.
No, nope.
Jump in.
Give us a call. Yeah, love to
Do,
help
do
you.
that thing with the.
Yeah, please like, follow, subscribe. Thanks for tuning into the show, and let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about.
He knows everything.
Thank you.